When news broke about the latest U.S. action toward Venezuela, the reaction was immediate and global. This wasn't just another diplomatic warning or economic sanction. This felt heavier, sharper, more final. Once again, Donald Trump stood at the center of a geopolitical storm, making decisions that would not only shape Venezuela's future, but challenge the limits of international order itself. Trump framed the situation as a necessary response to chaos, criminal networks, political collapse, and threats spilling beyond Venezuela's borders. But critics saw something else. A powerful nation acting alone, rewriting rules that were meant to restrain power, not serve it. The question quickly became unavoidable. Did Trump cross the line, or was the line already broken? Venezuela did not reach this point overnight. Once wealthy from oil, the nation slowly collapsed under years of corruption, economic mismanagement, and political repression. Under Nicolas Maduro, hyperinflation destroyed savings, food shortages became normal, and millions fled the country. Institutions weakened. Trust disappeared. This collapse turned Venezuela into something dangerous not just for its people, but geopolitically. Criminal networks expanded. Drug routes multiplied. Foreign powers increased their influence. For Washington, Venezuela stopped being just a humanitarian crisis. It became a strategic vulnerability in America's backyard, and vulnerable nations, history tells us, rarely get to control how others respond to their weakness. Donald Trump's foreign policy has always rejected traditional restraint. He favored pressure over patience, action over negotiation. In Venezuela, that mindset was clear. Maduro was labeled illegitimate. The government was treated as criminal. The U.S. positioned itself not as a mediator, but as an enforcer. Supporters praised this as strong leadership. They argued that diplomacy had failed and decisive action was overdue. Critics, however, warned that this approach echoed past U.S. interventions in Latin America, many of which left instability instead of solutions. Trump's strategy raised a deeper issue. Who decides when intervention becomes justified? And who holds that power accountable? International law is built around sovereignty. Countries are not supposed to interfere in each other's internal affairs without clear justification, self-defense, humanitarian necessity, or international authorization. Trump's actions sat uncomfortably between these definitions. Was no clear United Nations mandate. Congressional oversight appeared limited. The justification relied heavily on security threats and moral claims. Supporters argued Maduro's government had lost legitimacy. Opponents argued legitimacy cannot be decided unilaterally by foreign powers. This is where the line becomes blurred. Once powerful nations normalize acting outside global frameworks, the rules meant to prevent chaos begin to weaken. And when rules weaken, power fills the gap. Behind every major decision in Venezuela stands one unavoidable reality: oil. Venezuela holds some of the largest oil reserves on Earth. While Trump denied resource motives, critics pointed to patterns: energy-focused sanctions, strategic positioning, and economic interests waiting beyond the crisis. This doesn't mean humanitarian concerns were fake, but it does mean they existed alongside strategic calculations. In global politics, motives are rarely pure. When humanitarian language aligns too neatly with economic advantage, skepticism becomes unavoidable. Inside the United States, the response was deeply divided. Supporters viewed Trump's move as necessary strength in a dangerous world. Critics saw it as reckless, another step toward unchecked executive power and foreign entanglement. Legal experts questioned constitutionality. Lawmakers demanded transparency. Protests followed. Once again, foreign policy exposed America's internal conflict about its role in the world: leader, protector, or enforcer. Internationally, the message was clear and troubling. All eyes worried about precedent. Rivals watched closely. Smaller nations took note. If rules can be bent here, they can be bent anywhere. The Venezuela situation became more than a regional crisis. It became a signal of how fragile global norms have become in an era of aggressive leadership and shifting power. So, did Trump cross the line? If you believe failed states justify extraordinary action, then perhaps he acted decisively. But if you believe global stability depends on rules, restraint, and shared authority, then yes, the line was crossed. What matters most is not just what happened, but what it allows next time. Because once power stops asking permission, history shows it rarely starts again.